Good evening. This is CTV News for Thursday, January 8th. I'm Patricia Vallone.
And I'm Byron Scott. Glad to have you with us tonight. Well, an update on a story we brought you yesterday involving a man accused of intentionally driving a dump truck into two police cruisers. Police say 31-year-old Gene Brandon Jr. of Aquasco suffers from mental illness. And was not on medication when he allegedly rammed two police cars. Now, here is surveillance video of that incident. That happened just after 11:30 in the morning at a Glen Arden shopping center. Now, police say Brandon stopped this truck and exchanged words with the officers. He then pulled off allegedly and drove into the cars. The two officers ran to escape injury. Now, Brandon allegedly accused police of killing his brother, but Chief Mark McGaw says Brandon's brother did not have any interaction with police and is alive and well. The chief says the incident shows how dangerous their job is.
You're that police officer. This guy just literally runs over your two cruisers that you almost got trapped within, in the middle of, almost got crushed. Now what are you going to do? Now the truck comes to a stop. Does it have explosives in it? I don't know. They don't know. And all of a sudden this guy gets out and begins to immediately come walking straight at you. That's the threat that they faced. And what they did is, because of their training and their level-headedness and their calm demeanor under a very stressful situation, backed up, created distance, worked together as a team, and effected an arrest on this individual without any injuries to themselves or anyone else.
Now, Brandon remains behind bars, charged with attempted murder and assault.
Freezing temperatures are causing major problems for Metro riders. For 3 days, travelers have been experiencing train delays on 4 different lines because of equipment issues due to the frigid weather. Latifah Majid has more on the story.
The weather is not only freezing, but it's becoming an inconvenience to Metro riders because the green, yellow, red, and orange lines are experiencing delays due to a cracked track because of the weather's conditions. Now, I'm here with Moses Ware, who says that he's been delayed all morning. Moses, tell me about your experience with this. How much of an inconvenience has it been?
Well, more specifically, I was definitely inconvenienced yesterday, which I guess was the first day of the tracks being cracked. I usually ride the green line to the orange and the blue line, and I work out at Bowie. I got on that train at 8 o'clock, and the train just was still for about an hour and a half. So you could see people, and then people were trying to take alternate routes to the LaFont Plaza to, go other places, but I couldn't do that because there's no transfer point. You got to get on the orange and the blue line for where I go to work at. And it was like an hour, 45 minutes just to leave that train station, because I'm assuming at the other train stations people were having the same problems. The train couldn't move as fast. So that was my deal.
Now tell me, were you able to speak with your job to tell them the situation? Were they understanding about it?
They were understanding about it only because I work at Bowie State University, only because the kids aren't in school. There's really not a lot to do right now, so it really didn't affect me to that deal. But I'm pretty sure if the kids were in school, then that would have been a horse of a different color.
Now, the yellow and green lines have just been fixed, and the other lines are expected to be resolved later today. In New Carrollton, I'm Latifah Majid, CTV News.
And Metro officials say they expect all rail lines to be fixed by this evening.
With sub temperatures overnight and single digits earlier today, health officials recommend wearing multiple layers and limiting your time outside to prevent exposure to hypothermia. We spoke with several residents who say figuring out how to cope with extreme cold weather is a challenge.
I have the big scarf, and because I was taking the bus, I had to put on the hat and this on, and also try to put on some lip gloss and a lot of lotion so I don't get too ashy.
Well, I didn't want to be too cold because it's bitter out there, but I'm glad the weather is cooperating.
If you're outside and you start to feel woozy, drowsy, start to get confused, those are the signs of hypothermia in an adult. You don't feel quite right. It's and your body temperature is dropping. Actually, when your body temperature drops less than 95 degrees, you definitely have hypothermia.
And if you experience any of those symptoms mentioned,
Dr. Carter suggests that you seek medical attention immediately.
And from frozen locks to dead batteries, the frosty weather can take a toll on your car. AAA Mid-Atlantic has some tips for motorists. Check all belts and hoses especially if your vehicle is more than 5 years old. Make sure your battery cables are tightly connected and free of corrosion. Also, don't forget to check the tires and make sure pressure levels match those found in either the owner's manual or on the driver's door jamb. And finally, it's not a bad idea to have your car's antifreeze tested to ensure that it can withstand those extreme temperatures. Ice can cause the engine block to crack and cause thousands of dollars of damage. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Valone.
And I'm Byron Scott. Coming